Well, hello there. Thank you for joining us here at Coolest Life. My name is Tony, and I'm here to talk to you about RV parks in general. I've got a lot of videos out there now about different RV parks that we visited in our travels in the last 2.5 years. Gone up and down the East Coast, through the Midwest, down the Southwest, and actually we're still here in the Southwest. Maybe this is considered the Midwest. We're on our way out west. But I want to share with you some differences in RV parks, what they have, what they don't have, and some of the things you can expect when you travel, because you definitely want to find the best RV park in the area possible for your way of camping, and that's the key. So come along with us, because you just entered the coolest life. So we talk about finding the best park. It's a lot like the video that I did about finding the best. What is the best RV? The best RV depends on the kind of camping you're going to do. If you are a weekend camper, you don't need a big giant Class A. I'm just saying, it's more cumbersome than you use it. If you've got a huge family and money is no object, then sure, why not? But if money is in any way, shape, or form an object, and you're not going to use that RV at least 3 times a year, don't invest $100,000 on a big giant RV. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I digress, because that's another video. That's not this video. This video is about finding the best RV park. And what it comes down to is, what kind of camping are you doing? Are you just a weekend camper? How many amenities are you looking for? Are you looking for a park that's got a lot of stuff, or are you looking for a park that you just want to be near some open water? Maybe a beach, maybe just a lake, something like that. So let's go through that just a little bit. There's several different parks. One, I'm going to scoot over this way here, so maybe I can put some pictures up right there, of some rustic parks are basically just a piece of grass or a rock area to park your RV in. No hookups. The next kind of park is going to be connections. Normally is going to be water and electric. Now those type of parks are typically, you're going to find those in most state parks, and in most parks have actually got those. But what a lot of people are looking for these days are full hookups. Full hookups are 3 things: water. Let me put it down here: water, electric. Did I get that right? And sewer. So those are basically the 3 things you're looking for. And if you're going to stay at a park for a short amount of time, all that's going to be free. It's not going to be extra. You're not going to pay an extra fee for those things, whether you plug it in or don't plug in. You may pay extra for a full hookup site as opposed to a non-full hookup site. The other different kinds of features you might want to get is a pull-through site. Basically, you take your RV and you pull straight through, and when you leave out that way. You don't have to back in, and when you leave, then you pull out. So it's not a back end site. So those are some of the differences. Also, some of them are going to have, most of them should be level. What you do want is maybe a pad. Concrete pads are ideal to park on. Second one would be hard packed rock, hard packed dirt. Hard packed grass is kind of hard to find. So you really don't want to park on that. You want that to be on the side of your RV, so that when you pull in, you walk out into the grass, not walk out into the rocks. Some RV parks, that's all they have is rocks, especially as you head out further west and you get some of that dry area of the country. Some are in Texas have a little bit of that, but definitely the New Mexico's, Arizona's have a lot of that, where it's nothing but rocks, little bitty pebble rocks. So you're going to park on it, but you're going to walk on it as you get out. So let's talk a little bit about that real quick. Types of RV facilities. Free places, what they call BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management. You're going to see that a little more out in Arizona, some in California. I believe there's some in Utah, maybe Washington State, maybe Oregon. They're scattered around the country a little bit, mostly out toward west. Those are, you pay a either yearly fee or a monthly fee, and it's a really low fee, like $30 for the entire month or something like that. But what that is you just go out there and park. There's no set place. Typically, you're not going to have any water. You're not going to have any electric. You're not going to have any sewer. So you kind of fend for yourself. A lot of those places have got dump stations nearby, but you are expected, as most of them do out there, they run their generator all night. They just do. Unless they've got a big battery bank that they do the lithium batteries, and they've got a solar system plugged into it. So a lot of those people want to be off grid when you're talking about Bureau of Land Management, places like that, that it's free to stay. Some overnight types of free to stay places, Walmarts. Walmarts are still available in most of the country. Every now and then you're going to see one that says no RV camping here in good old Walmart. But a lot of Walmarts will still let you park overnight. What they don't want you to do is level, put your slides out, put your awning down, and make a mess. They typically want you to stay self-contained. Don't bother anybody. Come in and shop, get your goods, and be out early next morning. So it's a good place to stop en route. Kind of like Cracker Barrel, or same kind of thing. Cracker Barrel, I haven't heard of any Cracker Barrels that tell you not to. Normally you can go into Cracker Barrel and find parking around back someplace. And they've actually got them lined off for RVers, so they're very, very RV friendly. There's other companies that do the same thing. Restaurants, I don't know if you know off the top of my head, Cracker Barrel is probably the most predominant one. But they really do cater to RVers. But again, they don't want you putting your slides out. They don't want you leveling. They just want you to get in there, park, by all means, spend the night. They also don't want you running your generator all night, preferably. At minimum, it would be okay, since most Cracker Barrels close like 10:30, you'd probably be okay running your generator if you wanted to all night. Way out in the back of the parking lot at Walmart, it's not all that big of a deal, as long as it's not really loud. But anyway, it just needs to be definitely away from the building when it comes to that. But Cracker Barrel, not so much, because Cracker Barrel, well, they close. But you need to be out there early. 6 o'clock, you need to be starting to move, because I think they open at 7 or 8 in most places around the country. Next one up would be state campgrounds. Most state campgrounds in most states, they've got dry camping, which is going to be no hookups, and then they're going to have power and water. But a lot of state campgrounds have no sewer. They're just not built for it. In state campgrounds, you're going to get a lot more trees, public play areas like beaches on next to lakes. Pretty common around state campgrounds. Most state campgrounds I found are on some sort of body of water. They just are. Not all. I'd probably say close to 80% of them do. They got some type of body of water. In fact, I've never been to one that didn't. But I kind of like those kind of things. Even though I don't have a boat, that's not the point. But I just like to look at the water and maybe wade off into it a little bit and throw the tube out. So, some of the next ones up, I would say your private campgrounds and your KOAs. KOA is those parks are not necessarily Campgrounds of America. They're not necessarily owned by a corporation. They've got a membership, is what they do. So they do a membership, so you can buy a KOA membership and get like 10% off every time you stay at a KOA campground, no matter where it is in the country. So there's thousands. I think there's probably 1,200 or something like that, maybe 3,000. I don't know how many KOAs are. I'm actually working at a KOA right now as I make this video. But so KOA campgrounds, more and more KOA campgrounds are getting full hookups. Like even the one I'm staying at here, I would say more than half of the sites that we have here are full hookups. So we still have a lot of the water and electric onlys, and also we have a lot of tent sites. So let's go on up to the next one. Privately owned parks are going to be somewhere in that KOA area, and they can vary vastly. Some privately owned parks might have 20 spots. Some might have 1,000 spots. I mean, they vary a lot. The differences in them are drastic. Sometimes the best thing to do is to go online and find some reviews, TripAdvisor, Google reviews, and try to look and see what people are saying about it, and try and get the most recent ones. I will say this: beware that reviews are not exactly all that accurate. Sometimes they're one-sided. For example, someone might have an extremely bad experience, so they posted a review, and then you look at that person, and they've only had 3 reviews their entire life. So basically, they're one of those that only talks about the negative, more than likely. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I ever review a place, most of my reviews, I've got over 300 reviews. Yeah, that many of different places we've been, restaurants, RV parks. So I would hold reviews from people that have done at least 100 reviews a little higher esteem than the people who have less than 10. So keep that in mind when you look at reviews. Anybody can have a bad experience any place they go. I'm just saying. You could have a bad experience at Cracker Barrel. You could have a great experience at Cracker Barrel. Most people love Cracker Barrel. Yeah, I'm advertising on Cracker Barrel. But Walmart's a great example. There's all kinds of people that are complaining about Walmart, but they're still selling stuff like crazy, and people go in there and buy stuff all the time. I know I'll be back probably next week buying something at Walmart. So beware of certain reviews. Privately owned parks. So let's talk about some of the one of the other bigger ones. Thousand Trails. Okay, so I'm a member of Thousand Trails. They've got a lot of parks. Those parks still vary. They truly do. I find that a lot of Thousand Trails park have a lot of full timers that live there 12 months out of the year. There's a lot of parks like that. Some parks are associated with a mobile home park right next door. Not so much. I guess yes. There's a lot of mobile home parks that are associated with Thousand Trails. Several of the ones down in South Texas are that way. About half the park is full timers, and those are good and bad. Sometimes if the people don't care, it starts to look junky. Like a mobile home park has a reputation of throughout the country. The others, but a lot of times even as a traveler like myself, you might go into a Thousand Trails that has a community there, and they truly have a community. They're a weekday park. When I say weekday, most of their activities happen Monday through Friday, and maybe they'll have a dance or something on Saturday. They're probably church service, but as far as their shuffleboard, darts, playing billiards, horseshoes, all that's going on during the week and not the weekend. Other parks you might find are what we consider weekend parks. They'll do their best to call themselves campgrounds. We're not a resort. We're a campground. Was at one in Wisconsin Dells that was that way. Even on their marquee is a Thousand Trails, and it said Encore Resort. But the manager was like real quick to say no, we're a campground. Campgrounds are typically weekenders, so they're the weekend getaways. So there's definitely a difference there. You find that those got a lot more trees. They're a little more rustic. Campgrounds are, whereas what you find in resorts and different things like that, they really push you in there side to side, pretty close, because they don't want you to really at those resort type places. They don't expect you to go out and camp. They expect you to go come inside the building and do activities, and they've got things that are going on. Live music, karaoke might be going on that week. Just lots of things in the dining hall are going on. They're having potlucks, so they're doing a lot more activity stuff. It's not a bunch of weekend stuff where most weekenders don't know each other unless they bring their family with them. So I hope that helps you when you're trying to decide on your parks that you're wanting to go to. So again, there's your rustic parks, your ones that will have connections with your water and electric, and then there's your full hookups. But there's a lot of different kinds of parks that you can go to. Your free BLMs or the semi-free BLMs, going into Walmarts, Cracker Barrels, state campgrounds, KOAs, Thousand Trails, privately owned parks, and of course, there's a new one. This is bonus material. There are some new ones out there. The new ones are, you can go online and find them. I know they have one in Texas, if not 2 in Texas, and I think there's some going more and more across the country. I think there's one in Oklahoma, where they're typically off an interstate. They're, I believe they're all full hookups, but you do it all online. There is no park manager. There is no maintenance. There is no housekeeping. There is no grounds. There's none of those people you contact. Basically, what you do is you go online and you say, hey, I'm coming through this area. I want to spend the night. And typically you get the place for like 16 hours is what it is. So it automatically assigns you a slot. So when you go in there, you find your location. It tells you what site you're going to be in. You pull in your site and you get there, and you can't just plug in. You got to type in a code, and then you get access to all your plugins. So it's totally automatic. Next morning, you stay 1, maybe 2 nights, typically in those places. I think most of them are right off the interstate, so there's a little bit of road noise. But they're nice level spots. Everything's nice and brand new because they've only been around, I think, 3 years, something like that. They've started those, but they're all automatic. There is no office. There's nothing you check into. There's no things you need to hang on your tag or nothing like that. You basically pull in, you type in your code in the little, I think some of them actually have a gate that you get to. They send you a code once you pay for it. Their site, they send you a code, and you key into get in the gate, and then once you get in the gate, you key in to get into your site itself. Once you pull into your site, you got to go to the junction box there and type in your stuff, and then you can hook up everything, do your full hookups and everything. So, but those are quick and easy, and they're not all that expensive because they're not having to hire a bunch of employees. As we notice, if you've ever owned a business, most businesses, their number one expense is employee salaries. So if you don't have a lot of employees, then you can keep your expenses low. Anyway, I hope that helps. Be sure to like and subscribe, and send this to your friends if they're looking to do some camping and they're looking for that best campground that they can ever find. I'm going to let you go because I need to get back out here living the coolest life.